Hey there. Welcome into the Ben Maynard program. Thanks for being here. As you can see, I have a guest today, and we're going to get into it. We're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of discussion. It's Veterans Day weekend, right? So that's what this is all about. We're celebrating our veterans. I love our veterans. You guys know that. But before we get into it, I just need you guys to know that this program is available wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you stream them. Just search the Ben Maynard program. Boom, it's right there. Subscribe to it, though. Okay, subscribe to it and download it. All right, downloads are important. I know. I don't know what it is, but they're important. Okay, so download it, and then you guys can also leave me a 5-star review because I deserve it. All right. Next, if you can't resist this right here, and today, maybe even some of that over there too, and you guys are watching on YouTube, then again, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and leave a comment because I like your comments. I reply to all of your comments. You guys know that I do that, and I greatly appreciate it. And then after that, you have to go out and tell 1,000 of your family and friends about the Ben Maynard program. Okay, you got to share it with everyone. Okay. Last but not least, follow me on Instagram, simply the Ben Maynard program. Ben Maynard program, all one word. Or this is where it gets tricky. You can follow me on the TikTok. Yeah, the TikTok. And it's the Ben Maynard program. All right. So as you know, plenty of ways to take in this show for your dancing and listening pleasure. And with that, I'm going to introduce a great American to you guys right here, a great patriot. Okay. You know that I love our veterans. I support our veterans. I come from a military background. I have a lot of military veterans, people that have served in my family, police, fire, first responders, all of it. I love them all. Okay. And I want to celebrate them at every turn. And this morning, this afternoon, today, whatever it is, I have the absolute pleasure to have in my studio. And he's here to talk about his book too, Mel Borden. And Mel, thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
You're welcome. I'm glad to do it.
I'm glad you're doing it too. And a little background, Mel and I, we go to the same church. So I know Mel from church, and Mel's a great member of our church. Very well respected as well. And when I obviously did this last year, I've been chasing Mel for a year. I just want you guys to know that. All right. And I went to Mel last year, and you guys know if you've been around for a little bit that I had my whole Veterans Day weekend celebration. Not only because look, the bottom line in all this, Mel, is you deserve every bit of praise that is heaped upon you, and every bit of thanks that is given you for the sacrifice that you made, just like so many others that came before you. And I know that through your humility, you don't like that. I know you don't like to have the spotlight shined on you. I know that. And it's hard to believe, but I'm pretty much the same way. I know it's here I am running, but I am. But see, here's the difference though. I'm in control of this. Yeah. So I can clown around and goof around and do whatever it is that I want. And like I said, I shine the spotlight on myself and all that. And that's great. But when someone else is doing it, or someone else is praising me for something or whatever it is, it's like, no, I don't. I'm uncomfortable with that. So I understand where you're coming from, but you deserve it, Mel. So thank you very much for everything that you have personally sacrificed for our country and for guys like me. So where was I going with that? This is where I was going with it. I was chasing Mel for a year now. And last year I came up to him and said, Mel, hey, listen, I got this podcast and I want to celebrate veterans and I want to, I'd like you to come on the podcast. And we talk about stuff and talk about the time that you served and all this. And he looks at me and he kind of puts his head down and he does one of these things, and he says, well, I don't know about that, Ben. I'm not sure if I really want to do that. I got some stuff. And I said, look, I understand. And then what did he do? He almost took me by the shirt and he walked me over and introduced me to his beautiful wife, Cher. And he says, Ben, I want you to meet my wife, Cher. And he says to her, he says, yeah, Ben's got a podcast, wants me to come on the podcast. And I don't really know. And Cher says, well, what's your podcast about? So I kind of explained it and explained what I was going to do. And then she says, well, Mel's writing a book. And I was like, oh, joy. You shouldn't have told me that one. And so I said, okay, all right. You get a pass this year, Mel. And, and we didn't talk about it a whole bunch. But then a few months ago, you came up to me at church and what happened?
I said, well, Ben, I think I'm willing to do it because God has told me to do it.
Yeah. That's what you said. And you said, and my book is done and it's at the printer.
Yes.
Yeah, it's at the printer. And I was just like, yes, all right. And even at that, a couple weeks ago or so when we were talking about this, you started doing this hemming and hawing thing again, And I was like, no, don't do this to me, Mel. Honest, I'm a nice guy here. I'm a nice guy, and I mean well. But it's so great to have you here.
That is true.
And look, some guys or some people will say whatever, whether it's having discussions with veterans who actually went out there and fought. And I appreciate anybody who signs on the dotted line and is willing to put a uniform on and serve for our country, regardless of whether they actually see combat or not. It's still, there's always that chance. But some people who want to talk to our veterans and have them share their experiences. It almost seems as though they're trying to exploit them. And that is not what I'm about. Your story itself, Mel, and it's in this book right here, people. Okay. A Veteran Soldier's Story. All right. It's by Mel Borden. And I told you before, your story just deserves to be told because there's so many different facets of it from your service in the military. And we're going to get into some of that. We're going to get into before your time in the military because there's one constant through your whole, what are you, like 29 years old now?
Yeah, something like that.
But through your whole entire life, there's been one constant, and that is
love of Jesus.
There you go. I didn't even have to prep him on that one. I didn't. And that is the one constant, and that is the one stable force in this entire story here. And look, there's a bunch of little anecdotes and stories in here. It's not Mel's complete story. It probably would be 3 times as thick as if he recorded written all that stuff. And it's too much. But what I've gotten into on this is tremendous. It's wonderful, and people need to hear it because with that, I think, Mel, also comes more appreciation for what you have done for our country.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. So let me start with it. Let me just start with this one. Okay. I've done a lot of talking here and people probably watching this are probably shut up, Ben. Just shut up already. Okay. Why did you write the book?
I resisted writing it for like 40 years.
Okay.
Part of it, I think, was because of how we were accepted when we came back from Vietnam.
Yeah.
That kind of put me in a point where I didn't want anything to do with the military either because of that. However, my God has been so good to me that after 40 years, he said, Mel, this is not about you.
Yeah.
This is about what I have done for you. And that just
So good.
broke my heart. And so I decided, okay, then, Lord, I'm going to do that.
There you go. There you go. And I can understand from your perspective. And look, I mean, I am an old guy. I'm 60 years old, but I'm still 25 years your junior. So at the time you're coming back, I'm like in kindergarten, you know. But during, it's hard to believe. God, it's crazy to think about that. But the 70s, even into the 80s, was a hard time for guys who served in Vietnam. Was it
Yes.
not?
Yes, it
Yeah.
was. Yeah. We were called baby killers
Yep.
and all kinds of things.
Spit on, had things thrown at. Probably the largest number of homeless vets in our society probably served Vietnam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah, definitely. I would think so. Unless of course now they, a lot of those guys have died off and they've just been they've just been replaced by guys who fought in the Middle East. But yeah, it was a really, really tough time for guys that fought. I
Yeah.
mean, you didn't want to tell anybody you served, right? You
Yeah.
almost wanted to keep it a
I
secret.
actually, part of it was that uh, my family, friends, and others would try to encourage me to write the book,
Yeah, yeah,
and I just refused. I said, "No, I don't want to do something like that."
yeah. No, I can understand it, and I think culturally, once uh what was it called, Operation Desert Shield back in 90, 91, 90, 91,
Yeah,
somewhere around there, that's when kind of we were told as Americans, no, let's stand behind our soldiers. And I think our perspective of it changed a little bit, and we started to appreciate again
yeah,
what it is and what it was that our men and women in the military do go through, suffer, sacrifice, all those things. And then especially 24 years ago after 9/11, then it really ramped up, and we
yeah,
were all on board, and we all became patriots, and you saw a huge rise in men and women joining the military, and all those kind of things. And I'll tell you, certainly from my side of it, that appreciation has never stopped, and um, I could never say thank you enough to men just like you. I never served in the military, and like I've said, and so I don't want to claim anything, but I have so much love, admiration, and appreciation for brave men like you that just, I mean, let me ask this, Mel. Why? What is it that made you sign on that dotted line?
Well, I was spraying paint at a manufacturing furniture in Bell Gardens, and we had a Sunday school teacher that was just uh, Mr. Gensler, that was just wonderful. And while I was sitting, there were 12 of us in that room, and I can think of all of each one of us and the things that we did. But me personally, I had the feeling that the Lord wanted me to grow to uh, a Bible college.
Oh, okay.
Actually, it
Okay.
was, I can't think of it, in Riverside.
Oh, is that Cal
Cal
Baptist? Cal
Baptist, yeah.
Baptist. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it scared me to death. I was done with school. I had just graduated from high school and playing ball and loving my church and stuff. And So I did a Jonah. I said, okay, I'm out of here. I ran down and I joined the Army.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have an awful lot to learn, to go through before God really gets our attention. And that's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah. Lets us get to the end of our rope, when we think there's nothing left, and then all of a sudden he'll come and swoop in and bring us back. Yeah. And growing up, I remember reading in the book, growing up, you were a ball player. Love baseball.
I played baseball in high school. I was looking forward to playing baseball in college, but never did happen.
Yeah. Well, that's because the Army came calling. But, I had kind of a similar path. I was an athlete, at 60 years old. I still think I'm an athlete. That's a joke. but I was a huge baseball player. And my goal, my dream as a kid, I was going to play third base for the Dodgers. That was all I wanted to do. And instead I'm doing a podcast. But I get to meet beautiful people like you through church, and have you sit in that chair right there and do this. And so I love it. But now I think we have like 5 or 6 branches of military, but what made you choose the Army over the Marines or the Navy or even the Air Force?
Well, I had 4 brothers, 4 sisters growing up.
Yeah.
My 3 older brothers were all in the Air Force.
7 of 9. If you see me looking over a little bit, yeah. I told Mel it was perfectly okay for him to have his beautiful. We have an in-studio audience, okay, and that's his beautiful wife, Cher. And I said, look, if you need her for moral support, it's all good, no problem. She makes the studio look a little better anyway. So
yes, for sure.
Yes, it is for sure. So the Army. So why the Army?
Army because my older brothers were all in there, and I'm a stubborn guy, and I said, okay, I'm going to do something different. And so I ran off, and that October 15th of 63, I joined the Army.
Yeah.
Which just really was, right from the start, was simply amazing. I met a guy from Anaheim that turned out to be my best friend.
Is that Jim?
Jim. Yeah. And we went through everything together. We went through basic, we went through advanced infantry training, we went to jump school. Yep. We actually went to the same company at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, the 101st Airborne.
Was that by chance, or were you guys able to kind of go in on a buddy kind of program?
Well, I have to say that was God's will. I have to say that because that's since then, they have a buddy system that they can go together.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
That wasn't going on.
Oh, okay.
So this was all God's
So
work.
it's just divine intervention then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay. So so you met Jim and you guys just went through everything together. That's actually really good, because you create a bond with, whether it's 1 or 2 people. And if you're able to have these experiences together, there's a big comfort in that. Yeah. So then you enlisted in 63, and how long afterwards did you get shipped off to Vietnam?
We were on maneuvers in Tennessee, just below Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And we were told we're going to be there 3 weeks on tactical maneuvers.
Yeah.
And we were only there a week. And the commander said, no, we're going home. We're going back to Fort Campbell.
Okay.
And of course, then they said, we're going to send you on leave. Well, guess what? We all knew what was going to happen, because President Johnson was going to add many more troops to the Vietnam conflict. So that's what happened. Okay. I was fortunate because a couple of weeks later, the whole brigade flew to
I don't remember the name.
Oakland.
Okay, yeah.
and they got on a troop carrier.
Oh, yeah, that's
Jim,
right.
Jim was one of them,
Yeah.
and I was again fortunate because God held me back for post support for a week.
Yeah.
And after that week, we flew to Vietnam, and so that was quite an interesting thing. But Jim told me later that 18 days in that everybody was throwing up.
Yeah.
We were airborne. We weren't Navy.
You weren't, yeah, you weren't, yeah, you
So,
weren't sailors. You initially, upon enlisting in the Army too, because you talked about going to jump school and all that, you wanted to be a pilot, right?
I was thinking about
Yeah.
that. Yeah, and interesting that if it had no, if it had worked out a little different, I might have been a helicopter pilot
Mm.
because I had put in when I was at Fort Campbell.
Yeah.
For that, and they were working on it. I had taken a bunch of physicals, and my eyes were great and all this, but then we got orders for Vietnam, so
Right.
that blew that away. So
Yeah. How is that? How? And we'll get back to this, but jump school, how is that? I mean,
it was great. It was
jumping
really
out of a
great.
perfectly good airplane. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
well, yeah. But in jump school, they found out. Well, my records indicated that I sprayed paint.
Okay.
On off hours, they had me spraying paint lockers. Anyway, besides that, we had done extra PT when we were at Fort Campbell because our particular squad was the whole group that was going airborne. We were promised airborne. So when we got there, we didn't have to do the ground week. It's normally a month. We only did 3 weeks. We went right into 250, 45 tower where we learned how to fall and so forth.
Oh, okay.
Then we went to 250 foot tower, which the parachute's already open, and we dropped that. And then it came time we had to do 6 jumps out of an airplane to graduate from jump school.
Right.
So that's what jump school was all
and
about.
didn't I read it wasn't, I mean, now, like if you go skydiving, they have to take you up like 10,000 feet or whatever. But
Yeah.
you're in control of your own canopy and all that stuff. But you guys were jumping from like 1,200 feet?
1250.
1250, yeah.
1250 was a normal
Yeah.
normal jump. If it was a combat jump, fortunately I didn't have to do, is usually about 800 feet.
Okay. Yeah, you don't need a soldier up in the air too long. I mean,
No,
you're just a target right there. I mean, come on.
A lot of the 101st in World War II were up way too long, and you read stories about how bad that was.
No good. Okay, so your trip to Vietnam is delayed by a week, and so then what happened? What happened after that?
Well, actually, before that, when we got to Fort Campbell, we were going to Iran to meet the Shah.
Okay.
And so we went to Spain, spent the night, and then we went to Turkey, stayed there, and then we flew from Turkey, Istanbul, to Iran, to impress the Shah. Well, the first time we went up to 2,500 feet, the sandstorm was so bad that you couldn't do it. And so after that, about 3 days later, we flew back over there, and we jumped at 2,000 feet because there's still sandstorm. The sad thing was we never saw any dignitaries.
Right.
The wind just blew us clear off.
Because your appearance there was you were supposed to put on like a
military show,
basically military show. Yeah.
But
This is how great
we never got there. So next 3 weeks we spent training with the Persian soldiers
Okay. Yeah.
before we came home.
Yeah. Let me ask you this though about Iran, because this is what, 66, 67?
64, early 64.
Oh, 60. That's right, because you enlisted in
Yeah.
63. Yeah. I was at 65 in my head. How different in 64, how different was Iran then than obviously than it is now? Culture-wise.
I think culture, I really can't say because we didn't really get into any towns or
Okay.
anything. We were out in the deserts, but I would imagine it's totally different.
Kind of more westernized than it certainly is now.
It
right?
is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now is what it is. Okay. So if I remember correctly, you had you were delayed in Iran because didn't you get food poisoning?
I did. I didn't get delayed, but
okay.
I was ready to stay there. I don't care what you do. I can't.
Yeah.
So my sergeant turned to a couple of guys and said, "Throw him on the plane. We're going home."
That's right. That's right. It was like a 19-hour flight or something like that.
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
It? Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
That was pretty miserable.
Oh, that's bad.
One more thing that God had to tell me to earn some patience.
Yeah.
Learn
Yeah.
a few patience.
Yeah. All right. So then you end up in Vietnam. Okay.
Went to Vietnam.
Yeah.
And I was there a week early. There was Cam Ranh Bay, where pretty much most of the troops came in from off the ships, but there was nothing there. There was nothing there. And so I was put in a special forces compound for that week.
Mm-hmm.
I was filling sandbags for 3 days, and it was like 120 to 123 degrees.
Holy Toledo.
And I grew up in the Arizona desert. I loved the heat.
Yeah.
This just whipped me. In 3 days, I had heat exhaustion. I was just a mess. I spent the rest of the week in the tent.
It was just the humidity that was getting you, right?
It was both, yeah.
Yeah.
And but then after the week, my unit came in, so I was able to join them after that.
Okay. All right. And you were a radio man, right?
At that point, I was not.
Oh, okay.
When we got there, I was carrying an M16 along with everybody else.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I don't know how it because I don't know who the radio guy was before me. All of a sudden, actually, you're supposed to get training to be a radio guy. No, they just gave me a radio. Said, "Go for it."
They just put a pack on your back and said, "You're the radio man."
All. So, So anyway, yeah. I was the radio guy. We were there. We made a couple of jumps, which were pretty silly. In September and October, you had to jump for jump pay at least once.
Oh, yeah.
And so after that was 30 and 31 jumps. I made 31 jumps altogether.
Yeah.
And after that, our mission was sweep and clear. We'd go through villages. We'd do different kinds of things, trying to find the Viet Cong sympathizers and all the real enemy and so forth. And
so you were clearing fields, right? Like mine fields, or
no.
Oh, okay.
We were sweeping clear, finding, looking, foxholes.
Gotcha.
Places they were hiding and so forth.
Okay.
So just before Thanksgiving is the first time something really happened. We were on a sweep and clear mission and through the jungle, and came up to this big meadow opening about the size of a football field.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the enemy's on the other side. And so they waited till we got about halfway through it on the 50-yard line or something. And automatic rifle opened up and cut down the first 2 guys. Once again, God is with me, because by then I had the radio and I was back in the ranks. And of course, then the idea was then for us to dive off of that, and they had bungee sticks that sticking up.
Oh, yes.
And those had feces and poisons and stuff, and they wanted you to land on them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our first deal.
That sounds like a real party.
It was not. It wasn't real great, no.
Yeah.
But fortunately, most of us survived through that.
Yeah. That's bad. Okay. Can you take us to March 22nd,
Okay,
1966?
Sure. Yeah. It was interesting because when you're in combat, and we were almost like a separate group. There were 12, 15 of us, something like that, in our unit.
Yeah.
We were never in one place very long. Always moving all over the place.
Gotcha.
Just constant walking. And fortunately, all we had was sea rations. You're supposed to have a hot meal at least once a month. Okay, yeah, I was there 7 months. I never had a hot meal except for a truce, a ceasefire for Christmas Day.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
looking through the book. There's a picture. I want to show you.
Yeah,
folks.
and so
there it is.
we got to go to the beach and actually had a real meal.
Wait, if you can see there, this one right. Where's my finger? There it is. That one there. That's the sea ration right there. And let me describe what's in it. It's about four tin cans. Yeah, tin. Okay, because everything was tin back then.
Yeah.
We didn't have aluminum cans. And if I remember correctly, and I'll get into why I know this, those are pop tops. But then it looks like there's a bag, which would maybe equate to like an MRE or something like. I don't know.
No, those were a long time after us.
Okay.
Those are actually better than.
Then there's all kinds of other stuff in here, and I don't have my glasses on, and I can't really see, but
there's a package of cigarettes and so forth.
Yeah, you were using that for money, though.
I was.
You were using that for money when you would play poker. So that was you bet with cigarettes, and then you actually, you described in the book that you were a pretty good poker player. So
sent my money home.
Yeah, that's it. That's right. That's right. Well, it's funny. I see that the little tiny can there.
Yeah.
Now, when I was, I don't know, I was probably about 12, 13 years old. I'm over at a friend's house. This is my recollection. I'm over at a buddy's house, and across the street from where we're hanging out, there's an apartment building. And this guy comes out on his porch. He's upstairs. He's on the second floor, and he hollers at me. And he says, "Hey, younger generation." That's what he hollered to me. Hey, younger generation, catch! And he flings this thing. I don't know what it is at the time, and so I caught it. Oh, it hit my hand. I'm talking a tin can now. It hit my hand and it fell to the ground, and then I picked it up. And son of a gun, it was a can of peanut butter. It was one of these sea rations.
I don't remember any peanut butter, but they did have some smaller cans that kind of had wafers or bread or something in them. So
I never opened it up because I thought, oh, this is cool. This is this is military. This is from the war, or whatever it was. And so I never opened it up because I maybe because I didn't want to. I didn't want to see how bad the peanut butter maybe tasted. I don't know, but anyway, so
right after Christmas, or actually it was probably before Christmas, probably early December, we were honor guard for General Westmoreland. General Westmoreland was the commander of the Pacific.
Okay.
He was before me. He was the commander at Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
And he came through, and because we were Fort Campbell, Kentucky soldiers, we had held an honor guard for him.
Gotcha.
And me being a radio operator, I'm standing right next to my commander, and he comes through the ranks and he says, "Sergeant Moots, what's going on? What can we do for you?" He said, "Well, sir, if I could get my cigarette rations, everything would be good. You should have seen the battalion commander behind us. You don't tell a 4-star general that stuff." And oh my goodness, another blessing, I have to tell you, another blessing. Because of our punishment, we got put up on a hill. And that hill, it started the monsoon. I mean, it was constant wet, raining all the time. We were up there a week, and
you had to stay up there.
Yeah, they couldn't get us off. They were sucked in. And our first battalion at that same time had walked into a VC training compound, and they just got destroyed.
Ooh.
We needed to be there, but we couldn't get there.
You couldn't get off the hill. Ooh.
So that was,
there you go again.
That was just an amazing thing.
Well, before we get to that date in March, there's something. It's kind of a lighthearted story that I enjoy. Yeah, you know where I'm going. But also, again, divine intervention at the same time too.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell that one.
Okay, we've been on a long sweep and clear for longest that I can remember, probably 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and we were just worn out, and so we got to this river. The river's about 100 yards wide.
Oh wow!
Another 100 yards behind that on the sand, and then bamboo 100 feet tall there. And I couldn't wait to get in the water. So me and a couple of other guys got down the slope of the river and got in the water. And a guy, Viet Cong, I would assume, opened up with a BAR, Browning automatic rifle, just chopping up the water right in front of us. Yeah, there's no way he can miss us.
Yeah.
But and I don't know what happened. Yeah. He quit. So I said, "Okay, Eddie, I'm coming up." I grabbed my M16 and I'm running up the hill, just bare naked.
Yeah. These guys look, like he said, they were out for a while. So not only were they tired, they were smelly too. So they're just trying to take a bath in the river here. And so somebody, I wish somebody had a camera. I wish there was a picture of that in the book. That'd have been great.
No, that's what Eddie wanted. I said, "Eddie, start shooting." He was our M60 gun machine gunner.
Yeah.
And I got up there, and he just fell back laughing. He's laughing. I said, "Oh, I wish I had a camera." I said, "Oh my gosh!" So I was the laughing stock for the whole outfit for about, I don't know, several weeks, anyways.
The butt of everyone's jokes.
Yes,
yeah, no pun intended. But that's I like I said, it's a lighthearted one. It's a little funny, but yeah, I mean, it's a little scary at the same time too. Yeah,
I mean, there's no other excuse. God was watching over me.
Did that gunman? Did he get taken out? Does anybody know, or did he just maybe?
I don't know.
So nobody ever even saw or heard.
It might have been just that he was there and he's gonna see who he could get, and then he blew out of there.
Okay, so. Gotcha. So, all right. So can you take us to March 22nd of 66?
A couple other things that happened. Was we were just doing the sweep and clear stuff, and we'd find some Viet Cong, we'd send them back, or some others, members that we'd find in foxholes and in villages and so forth, and send them back to our holding camp. And so about March, first part of March, I guess, probably middle of March. We were assigned to go up on this hill, and it was more of a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Huge rocks the size of buildings, and
Jeez.
and
Okay.
just jungle all over.
All right.
Well, we got close to the base of the mountain, and they started firing on us. So we had to back off about 500 yards and wound up in a swamp.
Oh, wow.
We were pinned down in that swamp for probably 3 days.
Wow, that long.
Oh, there leeches and snakes and stuff. And there's one thing I never mentioned in the book, but Jim got malaria. And he was a mess. So anyway, we had the artillery came in, put 155s, 105s on line, right 1,000 yards from the hill, shooting all over the place. 8-inch gun of a cruiser. What is so special about this mountain? So anyway, because of that, we were able to get back to command.
Okay.
And we were there about 3 days, and they finally put up some 106 straight fire into the rocks and stuff, which convinced them that we were serious, I guess. And so a week later, we're at the base of the hill. We're going to climb up there about 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was actually just one trail. I mean, we didn't find any other trails. It was obvious the ones the Viet Cong used.
Okay.
And so we were 6 o'clock, found a few IEDs along the way. We disposed of them. By about noon, we got real close to the top. At the top of the trail went right into a doorway of rocks, about 18 inches wide.
Oh, wow. That's not
and
very
there
big.
were 4 guys that had already gone up. You had to go inside, and then you had to crawl up the top to continue on the trail.
Yeah.
I never got that far. So in the meantime, a friend of mine, the medic, was behind me, and 5 of us went by there. We didn't see anything. He slipped off the rock and hit an IED. And the concussion pulled me out of there. And because I was kind of stuck with the radio on my back, and I landed 10 feet from it, and smoke and everything going all crazy. I don't even know what had happened. And smoke cleared and so forth. I looked down on my leg. It's going down behind me, and it had 5 holes in it. 2 in the top, 2 in the bottom, and 1 in the front in my shin.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was that bad. All I thought was, oh, good, I'm going home. I got a broken leg. No big deal.
Yeah.
Jim got blown up into a tree, and if he hadn't have caught that limb, it was like 100 feet down. He would have never made it.
He would have gotten killed from the fall.
So anyway, I hear my buddy Ed or Michael, a couple of team behind me, screaming. So I turned to look, and Bruce, who was the medic, was laying right next to me. And it was pretty gruesome, but the gruesome part was he was still,
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so anyway, then Jim came down. He's working on put a trick on Eddie, and he comes up and he sees me. I called on command, the radio, got my senses together, said, we need help. And so when Jim finished with a couple of other guys, he come up to me, and you could see he was just physically couldn't believe it.
Right.
Because I was a mess.
He was a little disturbed.
I didn't know I was so bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, an important part that I totally forgot. I would go through rice paddies and other places, and I sang out loud which I don't do, which had to be a God thing. There's no doubt about that. Old hymns that I had learned. And so they knew I was a Christian. And so anyway, at that point, Jim comes up to me, visibly shaken. He says, "Oh my God, Mel, if I hadn't known you were this bad, I would have been here first." I said, "No, Jim, you had to do what you needed to do."
Yeah.
And so he said, "How come God let this happen to you and to Eddie, and you guys were Christians, and it didn't happen to me?" And I said, "Well, Jim, I think God has something for you, and he's given you a second chance."
Absolutely. And look, I know that's kind of a disturbing story. And I know that from that moment on, you had a lot of damage done to your leg, and you went through multiple surgeries, not just like 3 or 4, no, multiple surgeries. And you've had, and that was for a few years. You were dealing with that for several years.
Well, at least, yes, I was, but
Yeah.
the major part was about 6 months. I was in traction for 5.5 months.
Nice little picture of the book and that.
Most, I had 4 at the field hospital in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Where they were trying to clean it up and keep it halfway good. And then I got a body cast when we went to Clark Air Force Base in the Philippines, and then flew back to Travis Air Force Base up in Oakland. And my 3 older brothers came up to see me, which was really wonderful.
Sure.
And I had a surgery there.
Yeah.
And then went to Fort Bliss in Albuquerque. No, was it? No, El Paso.
Okay.
And when I got there, I was in and out, but I had a team of doctors around me. And I thought, oh, good. They're not going to sedate me. I'm going to maybe see what's going on, because it had been 2 weeks. I don't know what's going on. I want to see what happened with my leg.
Yeah.
Well, it was a good thing I didn't. But anyway, they started took the cast off and so forth. One of the doctors was taking all the gauze out, and he hit a nerve.
Oh.
And it totally knocked me out. I woke up the next day in traction. And so
good thing, though.
It was a good thing I didn't see it at that point.
Yeah.
Another amazing thing was through that traction, and I slept for like 45 days at least.
Get some good sleep.
And the nurse would come in and give me a shot every 4 hours. I felt some more sorry for her than me, because she had nowhere to poke anymore.
Yeah, running out of places.
And the other marvelous thing was I had an intern come in after hours. He took an interest in me, and he changed my wound, my dressings and everything every night for like 3 weeks.
Wow.
And so it was probably another month. My infection was really bad.
Yeah.
And they were thinking about taking off my leg. And
just so you know, they didn't. No, Mel was able to make it up the stairs. Yeah,
that's
no
right.
problem. No problem.
Anyway, so that was truly a blessing there. And so finally I got out of traction, and after 5.5 months, and did a lot of other silly things.
But getting back to what Jim had asked you, he's like, Mel, you're a Christian, and who was it? Bruce, right?
Yeah,
he's a Christian. Why did he let this happen to you guys?
Yeah,
and I know from reading the book that Jim was kind of on the fence about Christianity and faith. He wasn't. He wasn't an atheist or anything, but he just, like I said, on the fence. And it's not, why does God let this happen to you, or this bad thing happen to you over here, or that kind of thing. It's he doesn't let it happen to you, but he does. It's hard to explain, people, but because of the evil in the world, and because we are such a broken people, he, he's not going to stop bad things from happening. However, he wants to see what our response is to it
Yes,
and how
yes.
we handle it. And does it bring us closer to him? Does it strengthen our faith? And that's why you see these things happen. Um,
Yeah,
it's terrible, but it is one of those things, and it's a growing thing. And some folks will think that, oh, you're a Christian, life must be just peaches and cream every day. And I say that living a Christian life is probably one of the hardest things to do, because there is one thing, there's an expectation
yeah.
of us as
Oh,
Christians,
yeah, yeah.
but not from our Father, but from society.
Others,
Yeah, from
society,
society
yeah.
itself. So there's an expectation there. And then it is life, especially a Christian life, is just full of ups and downs, trials and tribulations, and they are, people might think it's a cruel test. They're not cruel tests, but they are designed to test your faith.
Definitely.
And
And all of that has made my faith grow tremendously.
there you go. There you go. That's the key. When you understand what it's about, once you, I'm such a professional. I knock my microphone over all the time. But once you understand that, and you get through this trial, everything is, I mean, you see the light. Everything is so much better on the other side. And then the next one comes, and the
Yeah.
next one comes. And you know what? It's just, you get through each one.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. But in the end, it's all going to be good. It's all
Yeah.
going to be good in the end.
It is. Yeah.
So you ultimately get sent home from Vietnam. You come home, and then you're not discharged from the
No,
Army,
no.
but you're doing other things.
Yeah, I was actually sent home. I was at William Beaumont there for Fort Bliss for probably a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, well, you're okay, you could go home on leave.
Right.
And so I was there. I had to go back once in a while to get an update and so forth. But
That's okay. I'll come in. So the time on Fort Bliss, was that just you were there just doing your physical therapy and doing all your
yeah,
recovery and that kind of stuff, trying
yeah,
to get back to where they could say, okay, you know what, Mel, you got to leave now.
yeah,
Later. We'll see you
yeah.
later.
So
Okay.
I was home on leave
Okay.
and did a lot of silly things.
I know you
Uh,
tried to play softball and baseball still. You thought you thought you were going to go back and start doing all that stuff too.
uh, that was my hope. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
And actually, when I did see when I was in tracks, I said, "Oh, that I don't see that happening."
Yeah.
Actually, something else that wasn't even is not in the book, and I haven't thought about it. I was laying there in traction. Woe is me,
Yeah, I could
because
see
I
that.
had written to American Airlines about going to pilot school.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
I'm laying there, oh my gosh, they're never going to let me do it now. So that took care of that. So
That's right.
our dreams, and once again, it's truly amazing that God has been. I wrote this book, and I look back at it. It's just amazing what God has done for me.
And it is. And this is where we're going to fast forward a little bit here. But the best thing in your life crossed your path, and we talked about this last Sunday in church a little bit, you and I did, and you were, you were kind of getting pursued a little bit by Cher. You met Cher. You met
She
her.
didn't pursue me. I pursued
Well,
her.
yes, but my point is that it got to a point that she was like, hey, we're going on dates. She wanted to settle down, and you didn't feel that you were ready for that. So,
well, that's way
right?
way in the future.
Well, we would skip ahead a little bit. Look, I don't want to keep you guys here all afternoon and into the evening. I mean, pretty soon we'll have to holler at Catherine to bring us dinner, But, but, and not only that, but people, if you want to know the story, you can get the book too, and I will get into that later. But, yeah. So you meet Cher, and then you kind of didn't know what it was that you wanted.
I want to interrupt there.
You can interrupt anytime you feel like it.
Say that if I can do this, I'll start crying.
Hey, I got a box of tissue right over there because I cry in here too, so it's all right.
I had been dating this girl from my sister's church, and I failed terribly.
Yes, yeah.
And when I was at the Veterans Hospital in Tucson, she came to see me, and she said, I found the answer. I joined the Mormon church.
Right.
That just destroyed me. I mean, I can't even say what. I spent 3 weeks, that weekend I got out, 3 weeks in front of my parents' house where I lived, reading the Bible, going through missionary books and so forth. That point was, all right, I'm completely done with the females. I'm going to listen to you, Lord. I'm going to a Bible college, and I'm going to learn about your book.
Did you feel like like you had failed her because you had met her? Obviously, she saw something in you. She knew about your faith, and she felt within you that you could help provide a foundation and a direction in her life as well.
That should have been the case.
Right. That was it right there. And then you didn't see the sign.
I did not.
And here's the thing. I was talking about this with a pastor friend of mine a couple of weeks ago. And when it comes to our faith, and we're on this path, and when you're younger, and I'll tell you what, I'll stop myself. I love the fact that you grew up in a church going home. You were in church every Sunday. You were already a man of God when you were a boy. And I love that. I love that so much. And a lot of times when you're younger, in your teen years or even in your young adult years, people, they always feel as though it's like, hey, somebody will say, hey, you want to come to church? You want to come to Bible study? And no, I'm really not. I got time. I'll do that later when I have more time in my life. That kind of thing. Not realizing that they're not seeing the signs along the way.
Yeah.
And we only have so much time, and we honestly don't know how much time that is.
Yeah.
Only God knows our timeline and how much time we have. And then, if something tragic happens, like your buddy Bruce, he dies that day in the battlefield. If he wasn't a man of God, then that's his time's up. That's it. It's done.
Yeah.
He doesn't get that second chance. And that's what I hate so much. And a lot of times we miss those signs. And so it's so important to just be present and And when you're more rooted and grounded in your faith, you don't miss those signs. But you did miss that one.
I did, yeah.
One.
But
I know I took us off track.
I totally forgot a rather important part of that situation on the 22nd of March.
Yeah.
I found out it killed 3
Mm-hmm.
and wounded at least 4 more,
Right.
including myself.
Right.
I found out later the reason that was so important to the Viet Cong was it was a big cavern in that mountain that left on wounded, supplies, all kinds of weapons, munitions, and everything. That's why they didn't want to let it go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
but you guys were finally able to overtake that.
Finally, they were able to get it done.
So, when was it that you? I want to get back to your beautiful wife, Cher. When was it that that you had you kind of had your V8 moment?
Yeah, that would.
Sorry, all you younger ones out there. We're old. We understand what that means.
And because of what happened, like I said, I didn't want anything to do with anybody, any women anymore.
You felt like a failure, right?
I'm going to Bible school, and I'm going to learn that. My parents had a friend named Joe Mason. My parents wanted me to go to Biola.
Right.
I wanted to go to Grand Canyon because they had such a great baseball team.
Always comes back to baseball.
Joe Mason says, "What about Arizona Bible College?" I said, "What in the world is that? I've been here 20 years. I've never even heard of it."
Yeah.
And so my brother and I come out here to California looking for a car. It's 113 degrees in Burbank. Forget it. We're going home. So I told him on the way home, I'll stop at AB, Arizona Bible College.
Yeah.
I got out of the car and I cannot explain it. It's unexplainable. It's a total God, Holy Spirit thing that said, "Mel, this is where you're going to school." What are you talking about? I mean, this pitiful little campus is so bad. They don't have a field. They don't have any basketball, any of that stuff.
Like 2 portable trailers sitting on an open lot.
But God's will is too. You can't. You
can't
gotta
deny
listen.
It.
You gotta listen.
Exactly.
And so when I that first night was our orientation, the Holy Spirit says, "I want you to get and talk." It's just like right now. I don't like to be in front. I don't like to do stuff
it's
like
that. I had to twist your
Holy
arm to get
Spirit
you
says,
here.
"Get up and give your testimony."
There you go.
And so I'm talking, and I look over there, and I know what she was wearing. I still know what she was wearing.
All right.
To me, she's just as beautiful she was 60 years ago.
Yeah. Good.
And I said, I got to get to know this girl. I mean, obviously, I didn't know where it was going.
Sure.
But it has been the most, to me, that's the biggest deal in my life. To me, all that other stuff was wonderful, God's direction and so forth. But him giving her to me is just hard to believe because I'm a simpleton. I don't know what I'm doing.
No, I completely hear you there. So Cher, okay, all right, look, he's missing out. All right. There were some times when he was unsure what it was he wanted. Am I right?
Well, sure.
Yeah. Okay. I know you probably can't hear, but she agreed with me. But every time you turned around, Mel, there's Cher right in your path.
Yeah.
Right in your path. And again, there's another sign. Come on, we're guys, okay? You can be honest with me, all right? There was a couple times you missed that sign, but there she was again. The signpost up ahead said share, and then again you had that V8 moment, and there it was, and that's when you knew this is it. This has got to be it. This is, God has put this woman in my path for a reason.
Yeah.
She's here for a reason. And, the rest is history, and I love it. I love it. It's just, it's tremendous. So you both, you were working at the phone company, Cher, and then Mel, you were going to school, you're working, and
working because I didn't have to, but
trying to make a go of it.
But I got a job at what was called Madhouse on McDowell, where the Phoenix Suns played basketball.
Okay, yeah.
And I was security.
That's right.
Among other things. And I got to be right under the basket during the games. And I got to meet all the players and everything. So that was pretty cool.
Is this in the early 70s at this point, or is this late 60s?
This is probably the year that Cher didn't make it back to ABC.
Yeah.
And then the next year, that was
like
my third year, we got news that ABC was closing permanently.
Right, yeah.
And I didn't know what to do. I thought, okay, good. Then I can go to Grand Canyon and play ball. Well, once again, I'm running from too many decisions that I have to make that I don't want to make. A friend of mine is getting married in New Jersey. So I says, okay, I'm going to run away. I'm going east.
Of course you are.
I get there and I watched their ceremony. Holy Spirit says, what is the matter with you? The girl that you love is in Anaheim.
That was the moment right there. That was the moment.
That was it.
That was the moment. Yeah.
I made it back and I said, hey, can I come over and talk to you? and we finally got it together.
Yeah, I know. When I read that in the book and you said, hey, can I come over? And Cher was like, yeah, sure. Come over and talk. I was like, there ain't no way it went down like that. Cher's probably like, dude, get away, go wash your car or something, go fly a kite with a hole in it. That's what I'm thinking. So, Cher, you're the best. You're the best. But it
was wonderful.
And then you did end up going to Biola, right?
Yes. Yeah. I had 96 credits through the 3 years. And I wanted to go to Grand Canyon. A couple other schools, no, they were only going to take 35.
Right.
So I've always said that God had to close a college to get me back out here to school. Biola was going to take all of them, which again turned out to be a huge blessing. All the things that happened were just wonderful.
They had a ball team as well.
Yeah, well, I tried that. Yeah. I was there spring of 71.
Yeah.
And I was out there running around, running bases, hitting baseballs.
Yeah, you were.
Batting, fielding, and had to get a physical. A doctor said, you're not going to make it, which was another blessing because I couldn't have been on a traveling team and done my studies. I've never been much of a student. I got a degree in BA. I got a master's at Cal State Fullerton.
I love it.
And that all is, for me personally, is just perseverance.
Yeah.
That's what it turned out to be. But again, God just showed me his will in so many different ways that I
Life,
can only
yeah,
praise him.
yeah. Life becomes a little bit easier when you see that and you submit. It's just
Yeah.
it's one of those things. So the two of you get married in 1972, and
During that
yeah,
time, we got reacquainted. Well, actually, even before when we was at ABC that last year,
yeah.
we would come over and be with Jim in Georgia and go out. They were pretty wild. They did crazy all kinds of stuff. But we'd go to ball games and we'd go to out to dinner and so forth.
Now is this
This
your
is
buddy Jim from?
this is
Okay,
Jim. Yep.
okay, same Jim. Good.
And
Yeah.
so I'm in my last year at Biola,
Mhm.
and it's uh, May, and I've got finals next week. And this is a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
And Holy Spirit says, "What about Jim?" What about Jim? We hadn't seen him for close to a year, probably, because of
Okay.
so much else going on. What do you mean, what about Jim? I got to study. I'm trying to go back to studying. What about Jim? Okay. What about Jim? I want you to go see him. I said, okay, I'll go after finals next week. He said, no. The Holy Spirit said, go now.
The thunder started to crash.
Yeah.
No,
I
now.
said, okay, Lord, I'm listening. So I had Sarah call him.
Yeah.
So he said, yeah, we'll come over. Yeah, you can come over. We knock on the door. Jim opens the door. We look at each other and we're just tingling. What in the world's going on? We both feel it. And look inside. The house is filled with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can say. And so they invite us in. And their story is that the kids started going to school, Sunday school, or to church with neighborhood kids. And they were there for about 6 months. They came home and said, we're not going anymore if you're not going with us.
Yeah. There you go.
And so they went with us a couple of weeks ago. Jim accepted Jesus as his Savior. And that night he was being baptized.
And you were supposed to be there to see it.
I was there to see it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was just too amazing.
Yeah. Hallelujah. That's great. That's see, it's just seeing those signs and then not missing them. And it may take rolling thunder. It's to wake you up a little bit, but it got you there. That's just
he got me there.
Yeah. Best, yeah.
So that was just tremendous blessing. We built a all-time relationship from before Vietnam,
right?
The whole time.
You didn't know it at that time,
no.
But you know what? There was just
what God had planned.
That's right. This inseparable bond, just like God put this woman in your path.
Yep.
God put Jim in your path.
Yep.
Way back when.
Yeah.
And that's how it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. That's great.
Yeah.
You guys have 3 kids, right?
Yeah. 5 grandkids.
I love it. But you've got Beth. She's the oldest, right? And then Lisa or Melissa. And does she like to go by Lisa more than?
She gets lots of it. She calls her Lisa. I call her Peach. That was my nickname for her. Bethany was the princess.
Yeah.
That I called. And then Josh came about 5 years later.
Yeah.
And he is just one special boy. Just you can't ask for a better son. It's just I should have brought something he wrote to me last year at Father's Day.
Oh, wow.
He said, Dad, you're
Better get that box.
He said, "Dad, you're the reason that everything has been so good. Everything that's done for me. Uh, the reason I do what I do for a living,
Yeah.
and especially for leading me to the Lord Jesus." I mean, that is priceless.
Doesn't get any better than that.
No, it doesn't.
I think that's just, how do I say this? I felt that, it's our responsibility as men to be not just the head of household, but to be the spiritual leader in the house, to be the rock in the house, the one that lays that spiritual foundation, that foundation of faith in the house. And look, I'm still learning to do that myself. I try to do that through my actions, the way I live my life. And I'm hoping that there's a payoff for this in the end. And I know there will be. But I have so much admiration for you and being that leader in your house. And it's not a leader by ruling with an iron fist so much. And we all have to be tough as parents, to our kids when they're growing up. But it's saying, no, you're coming with me. We're going to church. We're going to lay this foundation for you, and we're going to show you the right way to conduct your life as a young person into young adulthood, into adulthood, and being parents themselves. And it's like a generational thing. And that's what we all want. We want it to just carry on for, as long as we're here.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So you have 5 grandkids.
Yeah.
That's the best. Grandkids are great. They really are.
Yeah.
They really are.
Really good.
That's good. That's good. I shared with you a little bit, I think before, off camera, before we started recording, that I just have this admiration for our servicemen and women. And look, I have, people in my family that have served in the military. I have a lot of police, law enforcement in my family, first responders, firefighters in my family as well. So I have so much admiration for all that and respect for that. I like to call myself, first a Christian, second a patriot, and third a conservative. And I love, and that's why I wanted you on. I told you that, my dad had served in World War II, and he served on a destroyer in the Pacific. And, just because it's Veterans Day, folks, I just want to break these pictures out a little bit. Those are my dad. Let me see. I have two of my grandfathers as well. My mother's dad, and then her stepdad. Her biological father served in the Army. He was an MP. His name is Donald. Was Donald. He was actually killed before my mother was born. There was an accident with a fuel tanker, and he was killed in that accident. And so my grandmother, she ended up marrying another military man. And he served in the Navy. And so I mean, the military background of my family goes back a long ways. And then, so I've got, photos of my dad, and there's my father, Huntington, West Virginia. That's where he was raised. And that's him. Then there's this one here. I think this is a little bit later. One, he looks a little bit older, but he served in World War II, and then he served in the Korean War as well. or during the. I don't think he actually fought in the Korean War, but he did serve during the Korean War, and and then the last one here, and yeah. So I always like to pay tribute and salute, not only just all of our service members, all of our veterans. And we talked a little bit about, I think, I don't remember if it was you, Cher, or you, Mel. You had asked me about, have I had an opportunity to have a World War II veteran on, and of course I haven't, but we talked about that moving forward, and we got to make it happen. We have to make it happen because we're losing them, not because we're just losing them because of time. Okay? I mean, World War II was a long time ago, and we're losing them because of that. But for many years, though, Mel, I didn't understand the military so much, or I shouldn't say I didn't understand it. I didn't have just this great appreciation for what our servicemen and women did, and obviously continue to do. And I've been to Pearl Harbor 2 times. I'll try to keep this short, but I've been to Pearl Harbor twice. Once when I was a much younger man, and it's great. It's beautiful. The Arizona Memorial is absolutely wonderful. It's just it's a very somber feeling when you're there, and it's just very quiet. Nobody talks when you're at the Arizona Memorial, and you understand why. And then, and that was all great. But the second time I was there was back in 2012. And I picked up this book, and it's called From Fish Ponds to Warships, Pearl Harbor. And the author was there with a World War II veteran. And I thought, I got to get this book just to, because not only was he a World War II veteran, he was a survivor of Pearl Harbor. So he was there, and they were, talking about the book, and they were signing copies of it. And so I met the author, and the veteran that was there. His name's, I should put my glasses on. Al Bodenlos. He was from the 804th Engineer. 12/7/41 is the date he put on this. And then the author was not, he was, who's the author of this? Alan Seiden. And so I guess I had told him, honestly, I didn't realize that the author signed my book. I don't know if I read it until today. I got this book because I knew you were coming in, and I wanted to kind of share it with you a little bit. And I opened up the book and was looking, and I thought the veteran had signed it, but I don't remember the author signing it because I didn't even remember what he wrote. And I opened it up, and it was from November 24th of 2012. And it said, "To Ben, aloha, and in honor of your dad and his service to our country in the United States Navy in World War II, Alan." And I thought, whoa, I don't remember that at all.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought that was just very, very cool. But I remember that was the day I was there at Pearl Harbor in 2012. That was like my aha moment, my V8 moment in respect to our veterans in the military. That was it there. I mean, I'm standing there sitting down in front of me. I mean, 5-6 feet in front of me, or even closer on the other side of a folding table, is a hero from World War II, surviving that major attack on Pearl Harbor. And it's like, I mean, I probably owe my existence to this guy, owe my existence to the guys who fought at the sands of Normandy, owe my existence to guys like you because of the sacrifices that you made in your life. And Mel, I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for your service. You are you're a Purple Heart recipient as well. You didn't bring it. You have a Purple Heart pin on your hat, but I was hoping he was going to bring his Purple Heart medal. I could play with it a little bit, but but thank you so much. Thank you for the sacrifice you made for our country. But thank you so much for being a tremendous Christian and man of faith, and somebody that actually, now that I know you have a master's and all this stuff and you're like a theologian, I'm going to come to you with everything. But thank you so much for all that.
All
Mel.
glory to God.
Yeah. I mean, I always look forward to seeing you in church on Sundays, but we met at a men's breakfast.
Yeah,
We sat at
I
the same
remember.
table.
I was trying to think of that back when. But
We sat at the same table, and that's when we met, and I knew you were special then, and you're still special now. And yeah, I can't thank you enough for just taking the time. It took a year. It did take a year, people, but we got him here. And I told him I was going to be pretty harmless, and I am. But God bless you, and again, thank you so much. And I hope that on the 11th, Veterans Day, I hope that wherever it is that you may travel, if you're out and about on the streets or whatever, that wear that hat proudly. And I hope that people will pay you the same love and respect that I do.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I could keep you here all day talking about this stuff, really, honestly, because this is a great story here. This is a great story. And like I said before, it's not even all the stories. It's not all the stories, but it's not for retail sale, unfortunately. But if you want this book, Mel and Cher said that they would leave me a link to where if you want one, you can leave in the comments your want for the book, and I can send you a PDF, and it'll be the book itself. So it'll be almost like an ebook. It'll have the photographs in there and all that good stuff. And you know what? You think Mel's good looking right now? Mel was like, whew, lady killer oh my goodness. Yeah, he's lost a couple inches now, but we all do as we get older. Mel was 6'1". I'm 6 foot. And Mel was taller than me. So anyway, but you can just leave it in the comments that you'd like a copy, and I'll and leave me your email, whatever it is, and I'll send it to you. I'll forward it to you, just so that you can check it out. You can read it yourself. But look, we're gonna wrap it up here. I cannot thank Mel enough for doing this. This is so great, and for me, what a great way to celebrate Veterans Day and celebrate our veterans and just pay them the love and respect and honor them the way that they deserve to be honored. So look, I'm going to cut you guys loose. And as you know, this program is available wherever you get your podcasts. Just search the Ben Maynard program. Boom, it's right there. Go with it. But subscribe to it and download it as well. Downloads are important. And you know what? Share it too. Share it with your people. Okay. You guys can share it. That's the way we spread the word. Okay. And then leave me a 5-star rating too, because I deserve it. Well, Mel deserves it way more than I do. But do that. But if you're watching on YouTube because you love this and you love that right there, then again, subscribe to it, because when you subscribe, you get notified every time a new episode drops. All right. And then you have to leave a thumbs up, because you got to give me a thumbs up. And then you got to leave a comment. All right. Because I love your comments and I reply to all of them as well. And again, I know it's just all this stuff, right? You got to tell 1,000 of your family and friends. All right. You got to tell 1,000 of your family and friends about the Ben Maynard program. All right. But you can share it too. There's a place to share the video as well. So share it with all your people. All right. Last but not least, follow me on Instagram, Ben Maynard, all one word, or on the TikTok at the Ben Maynard program. So that's it. We're done. thanks to Mel so much. Thanks to his beautiful wife over here, our in studio audience, Cher. And you guys just have a great one. Celebrate our veterans, celebrate our service people. They're so precious, and it means so much to us. And we have and enjoy the freedoms that we do because of people like Mel. So just love on them. All right. Happy Veterans Day. We need to actually be Veterans Month, but we'll get into that some other time. So with that, we're out of here. This is the Ben Maynard program. Tell a friend.